Our vision for the company is enjoy moving forward. And this is why happiness is at the core of what we try to do.
Welcome to Reimagining You, where we explore what it takes to build a personal brand that transcends business cards and becomes a legacy. Anthony and Nicolas Boukather are just twin brothers. They co-architect a 97-year-old family businesses that began when their grandfather pioneered car imports to the Middle East in 1927.
We always feel that no one will be able to fill the shoes. But this is wrong. The cemeteries are full of people whom we thought one day are irreplaceable. And someone came and replaced them. Because egos are aside. We don't have egos between both of us. Our role is probably to keep this momentum ongoing for the next generations.
What sort of tips, tricks, and lessons that you can pass on to other family businesses that are listening to us?
Build your family constitution based on the strengths and not the weaknesses. See where each one can add value.
Try to build this family constitution well in advance before the problems happen. When everything is functioning properly, people think that this will last forever. But this is when you have time to sit on a table with professionals and write down this family constitution in order to avoid bottlenecks.
When you're outside the room after a meeting, what do you think people will talk about you?
When you build a brand, the brand stays, you go. For us, what we would love people to speak about us is the legacy we keep, is the smile we have, and this is what people remember.
Welcome to Reimagining You, where we explore what it takes to build a personal brand that transcends business cards and becomes a legacy. I'm your host, Dr. Ali Daher, and today we have something special. It's double the insight, double the wisdom, and double the Lebanese entrepreneurial spirit. Anthony and Nicolas Boukather are just twin brothers. They co-architect of a 97-year-old family that began when their grandfather pioneered car imports to the Middle East in 1927. Today, they lead ANB Holding, a mobility, real estate, and agriculture empire that proves family businesses can honor tradition while driving full speed into the future. But they're what makes their history remarkable. In 2006, during the Lebanese dark period, these twins left comfortable international careers to come home, Anthony one of them, and continue the legacy from their father. Today, they transformed the business from a 20-employee to 300, close to 300 employees across the GCC. So today, we're not talking about running a family business. We're exploring how two people can share DNA and vision while building distinct personal brands. How to make legacy your own without losing its soul, and why sometimes the best career move is the one that brings you home. Welcome home.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank
Great
you,
to
Doc.
be here.
Pleasure to meet you.
Great. This is a rare occasion to be sitting here in the beautiful surroundings of the mountains of Lebanon with two twin brothers. And I have really a curious question to start with. How does face recognition work with you? Does it actually, detect who's Anthony and who's Nicolas?
We've built different brands so people can recognize us very quickly, even without speaking to us.
Wow, that's nice. That's deep. But I'm talking about the iPhone today. How does the iPhone detect your face? Does it, did you try it ever?
It does. It does. I can't open his phone with my face. Absolutely.
So lucky that we can't open it.
So AI is really advanced, I guess. It is good. Because
The key to answer your question is very simple. Is how to complete, not how to compete. In fact, we complete each other's. By DNA, we look like each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have maybe some more weight than Anthony has. However, by values, we're aligned 100%, right? By design, we have the same DNA because we're identical twins. We just have 7 minutes afar when we.
Who's the oldest?
It depends on the way you see it, right?
Okay.
We have 7 minutes apart, but however, by implementation, we have different styles. You can see it from the way we deal with the business, we deal with the family. However, the values are absolutely the same, and this is the strength of this relationship.
Nice, nice. We're going to talk about the family and the legacy, which we talked about in the introduction. So, how easy or I want to talk about mission pressure here because I don't know if you decided to be in that business or not, to carry on the legacy from your grandfather or not, because everybody has his own aspirations, ambitions, mission in life. But under pressure, maybe you either took it on and came up here and continued the business. So let's talk about the mission under pressure. Was it really your mission or your mission to be in that business?
It was. It was. We both agree that we both joined this business convinced about the why. The why is the legacy. The why is what we've been born into, the family, and what the grandfather gave to my father and what my father gave to us. So we were very convinced to join this business because of the community we serve. The community first in Lebanon and then now in the GCC area. We want to see this community thrive, and we aim to be one of the companies that really support this community to grow and thrive in this world.
I like that. In fact, when I did my research, ANB comes up with a lot of automotive, but doesn't talk about the rest of the businesses. Most importantly, at the purpose, which you just mentioned, building community. And I like that. Can you elaborate a little bit more why the other businesses, real estate, agriculture, and I guess the way you split and the way I've done my study is that Anthony deals with the things that they move, bicycles and cars and what have you. And Nicolas deals with the things that we're moving on, which is land and agriculture and real estate, right?
It depends on the moment in time, right?
Okay.
It's extremely flexible. And this, I believe, is key of our, probably the way we work together. At some point in time, someone in life has a mission to accomplish and has, something that comes up that is not foreseen. It might be an illness. It might be a family issue. It might be, something that serving the society in general and not spending a lot of time inside the company itself. You're called upon a mission. So you need to spend more time elsewhere. And this is where, this partnership between Anthony and I is so special because I trust him fully and I think he does as well. And this is where I hope so, yeah. And this is probably the most tangible value we have together, right? Trust. This is part of our family ecosystem, and this is what we're trying to transmit to the future generation. But to the initial point, flexibility in this relationship makes it that sometimes I take leadership on a project and hand it over to Anthony over time, or vice versa. So at some point in time, you're right? I was taking care of the real estate business. Anthony was focusing on the part which is the mobility. Right? But the moment we found an opportunity, for example, in the GCC and the bicycle sector and the motorcycle sector and other sectors, Anthony and I decided that she needs to focus on that, right? And then I needed to focus more on the mobility sector in Lebanon.
Okay.
So this kind, let us say, of flexibility makes the brand different. And this, by nature, being twins, right, creates a brand. It's easy to create a brand when you have a differentiation factor. So to answer your question today, as we speak, I'm taking care of mobility in Lebanon. Real estate was part which was introduced for diversification, and today complements the mobility sector in Lebanon. The moment Lebanon is back on track, real estate can then pick up again. This is where we need to put more effort on real estate itself.
Nice. Good story. Mohammed, but still on the legacy and passing on from generations. Obviously your grandfathers and father did a remarkable job because you transformed the company. You've grown it to many hundreds of employees and across the GCC. I found something very interesting in your values, right? That you have 3 standard core values: trust and but you have two nice values, happiness and joy. And I love those because the way values could be a poster on the wall, but you don't live it, or it could be something ingrained in the DNA and you live it.
True.
So I want to talk about the happiness and joy a bit, because I think since you were young, you started that happiness and joy implementation of value, or at least your fathers have implemented that, as you've been, instead of playing on the road and whatever at during your after school hours, you were coming at the showroom,
Yep.
right? So tell me more about that. Let's talk about the happiness and joy element and how you passing this legacy to your generation.
Let me tell you here. So the legacy gave us the why, as I explained.
Okay.
Now, together, we're building our how.
Okay.
And the how are those values. And part of them are happiness and joy. And as you as you correctly said, sometimes those values are on the walls in companies and are not applied in practice. What we strive to do is to link every one of those values to behaviors. And what we discovered with time is that those behaviors varies for one simple word like trust. It varies from generation to generation. What does this mean? Or respect. Respect for my grandfather is a bit slightly different than respect for my father, is different from respect for my brother, or for me, or for my kids.
Okay.
And we have those discussions to define those expected behaviors from the different generations or the different people in the business
Okay.
to apply those values. Happiness is part of it. And for us, our vision for the company is enjoy moving forward. And the
Yes.
word enjoy is part of this joy and happiness you mentioned.
Okay.
So if you want to build communities, if you don't have happiness around those communities, what's the community about? What you really keep in mind when you think about some people you lost in life
Yes.
is the way he laughs, is the jokes he made, is a good time you spent together.
Yes.
So we want to create those things within our communities. And this is why happiness is at the core of what we try to do.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I remember a quote from Marshall. And he said that, when you die, when you pass to the next life, people don't remember what you've done. They remember to how they felt with you, right? So I guess building the community is really making the people happy, enjoying it, and living the community life as a family. I want to talk about the family. You wanted to say something.
I'd love to say something about
Really?
positivity.
Yes.
Because happiness is linked to positivity.
Yeah.
We're living at the moment in a world where negativity is the rule. You open the news, you spend time at dinner, people are worried, right, about what's happening globally at different levels. Our role is probably to look at every diversity as an opportunity. And this is a mindset. When you wake up in the morning and look at the half glass full, you might as well look at it half empty. Okay. Our role is probably to portray this positivity and try to find in every difficulty an opportunity.
Nice.
I'll give you an example. One day we wake up and we found out that our main headquarters is taking fire. We could have been extremely imbalanced at this point in time, and we could have spent maybe a year building back. The moment we looked at, because Anthony gives me strength. When I look at him, he gives me strength, and vice versa, because it's really this kind of twinning makes it very, very powerful. The building was taking fire, and I looked at Anthony's eyes, and together we said, we're gonna rebuild quickly. And we needed to do it in 10 days' time. So the whole team, this kind of energy, this positivity, despite difficulty, transmits quickly. And the whole team became positive. In half an hour, 1 hour time, everyone started working on plans to rebuild fast. In 10 days' time, the place was rebuilt. In 10 days' time, we had maybe 500 people involved in the project.
Wow.
And we made it on time because we had a big ceremony at the time 10 days later. This moment, if you talked about, building brands, this moment is a storytelling that not only us will be using, but also future generation will be using as a moment of positivity, of happiness, of joy, despite difficulties.
Brilliant story. In fact, when I did the research, it says 6 days, not 10 days.
Absolutely. 6 days was from the moment we started building till the moment the building was done. 4 days was the moment of preparation.
Wow.
So 4 plus 6.
Wow. So I guess AI is not is not giving me false information. No, that's a brilliant story. But this story, and I was going to mention that because it's an impressive one, not from rebuilding as fast and knowing Lebanon with the slowness of Lebanon, a project like this with the speed of light, it's unheard of in Lebanon. But let's go deeper into this. I guess this is the positivity that has, and your values that have gelled the family together. And now this is the true impact of the family you've created, the extended family you created in your business. And everybody wanted to help, everybody wanted to rebuild. No titles, no nothing, just the sheer effort and work that they put in. And you took that, and I guess this is where you're contributing to the communities, and you're trying that example to build communities at large. So that's about happiness. We talked about joy as well. How do you, at the end of the day, you're in business to make money. You're not a charity. How do you measure the ROI of joy?
You see, when the why is to build communities, then the how, our how is very bold. And when you have happiness in this formula, community plus happiness, profits comes alone. Because people are happy to come and spend what is the right price to enjoy the moment with you. It can be joining a car ride. It can be fixing your car. It can be joining a community ride on bicycles, as we do together, Doc.
Yes.
It can be joining a motorcycle ride. And people are happy to spend their energy, efforts, time, and money to enjoy this with you. Then it's all about how you treat those people. And as you said, people remember how you treat them. And they come back to you. And then when they come back to you, this is where you increase your profitability and you sustain your business. So when you start with a good how and you apply your why based on your values, then profits comes alone.
You should trademark that formula, Anthony. And this is beautiful. The ROI of joy. There you go. You've got the algorithm.
I need your help with that.
When you say enjoy moving forward, it's not only for customers, right? It's also for shareholders.
Okay.
So enjoying the ride is also enjoying a sustainable return on investment. So all of this is linked somehow. In life, you need to create this balance, right? Between the joy of all the parties involved. Is it employees? Is it colleagues? Is it shareholders? Is it customers? And the moment you can transform all of these acronyms into ambassadors, this is the moment you succeed.
Nice.
The moment all of them feel as ambassadors of the brand, of ANB today, this is when you succeed. Whenever they are honored or happy or proud, to keep the spins, high and loud, ANB. But this also comes with responsibility, Doctor. When you think about the kids, a kid when he grows, he especially in a family business, the name itself follows him. It's a huge responsibility for the one managing the business, and because they don't only impact, as you were saying, a P&L and a balance sheet, but they impact intangible value, which is the name of the brand itself follows you everywhere. Even family members which are not owners, right, feels the impact of the brand wherever they go. If we do a mistake, it will impact everyone. However, if we do it properly well, it brings value to everyone. So enjoy moving forward is about enjoying not only for the customers, but also for all the shareholders and making all of them ambassadors.
Nice. All right. I'm going to have a tough question for both of you. let's take an analogy of an employee in a company, a CEO or a VP, working for Microsoft, Google, Amazon, you name it, big companies. He has a nice business card, thick cardboard, his name, Eli Daher, CEO of Microsoft or VP of this or that. And he goes and have a meeting with a government official or a big company, and he opens doors because, of his title and the company he represents. They do restructuring and they release that person, and he's out of the business. Eli Daher now is out of the business. He goes to the same government official and says, I'm Eli Daher, I want to have a meeting. And you know what would be the answer?
Who are you?
Who are you or what for? Right? So the person becomes a PIP, a previously important person. So really the brand was his title and the business card, not Eli Daher or John Doe. So your brand is ANB Holding. Are you curious or annoyed somehow or feel that I wish I can create an Anthony Boukather or Nicolas Boukather brand? So when, let's say one day, I know you have complete synergy, but to the 60% of the family-owned businesses, and I've sit in advisory boards in companies, brothers are not always aligned. A lot of times, the board meetings are clashes between family members. And one person decides to leave and create his own. So the question is, how do you feel about your own personal brand? Does it get you to think about it, to really think I want to build it, or I want to have more of your views on that? I know it's a tough question because it's not an A and B question, it's personal brand question.
Look, I can take this first, Nicolas, if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
So one vision, two minds.
Okay.
Right? I can start by that. I can define the brand of Nicolas, if you allow. Let me take the analogy of animals.
Okay.
To be an eagle, and the eagle is like high vantage point, scanning for threats, looking at opportunities, acting and diving at the perfect moment. This is the brand of Nicolas.
Nicolas the Eagle. That's nice.
Yeah. Haven't expected that.
And then if I look at the same analogy, but from my side, I see myself as a dolphin, right?
Okay.
So the dolphin here is like playful, innovative, able to solve problems in unexpected ways, and then execute the problem solve. So if you look at this analogy between a dolphin and an eagle, it's two different brands, right? But it's, in this case, as Nicolas said before, we don't compete, we complete. I can take the same analogy, not with animals, but with trees. So
Can I take the one of the trees?
I like that. I like that.
Go ahead. What do you think?
No, I like nature, as you know, Anthony. And part of our sustainable movement and mobility is being nature friendly, hopefully. I think that the tree has roots, right? The roots are our values. This will never change. If you try and change your roots, the tree is dead, right? This tree has a central part and then has branches. I believe this is where Anthony and I negotiate, try to discuss a lot on these branches themselves. How would they grow? How fast would they grow? When to trim them down? What can we do about the colors of the seeds? Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Right? So this is the analogy of the cedar, of the tree. And this is like a cedar tree. We in Lebanon love our cedar tree. This is something very well rooted that would face any challenge. And Lebanon have been through challenges. And this is not only for ANB. Here I would like a shout out for Lebanese companies whom have been really facing winds of change and so much in the past years. And have been the resilient part along with the diaspora of Lebanon to keep this place alive. And a lot of them have grown over the region and have been to either the UAE or Saudi or the GCC or Europe or even Africa. And this is part of Lebanese story as well. We somehow are a small example of what Lebanon is made about. Now, to come back to your initial question on branding, right? Personal branding.
Yes.
I believe that we're here for a mission. The mission needs to have, a goal and a duration. Ego should be set aside in family business and even in general, okay? You have a mission to accomplish. You accomplish it. You have, KPIs to achieve. The moment you achieve them, you handle the mission to the person coming next. And here's the most difficult part, Eli. Transition. Between Anthony and I, we are lucky to be twins and to be able to discuss and negotiate and reflect on subjects. And we often start diverging, and then we converge on the best option. Okay, because egos are aside. We don't have egos between both of us. Our role is probably to keep this momentum ongoing for the next generations. And this is probably the mission of a lifetime. So to ask your question, if in 10 years' time I won't be the chairman of ANB anymore, I won't have to give this card to this government official, right? However, I know that someone else is doing this brilliantly well, I would have really achieved my goal in life, which is transmitting. And the chair, right, especially in this part of the world, is something difficult to leave. Because we always feel that no one will be able to fill the shoes.
Fill the shoes, exactly, yeah.
But this is wrong, right? The cemeteries are full of people whom we thought one day are irreplaceable.
Yes.
Okay. And someone came and replaced them. I think that the right thing to do is to know when to leave, how to leave, and to whom the baton or the stick is delivered after leaving. And this is something the leader tends to keep aside. And this will be solved later alone. No, this is something that needs to be prepared daily. And this is what we try to do in the family, but also inside the organization with our team members, to have a plan B with every personnel, with every team member, with every colleague along the way. But not only in terms of team and people, but also in terms of brands. Try to think about the future. And this is where I think our DNA is to try and look at the waves, if you're a sailor, and try to imagine the next big wave in favor or against you.
Yeah.
And try to take it and to get ready to take it. So all of this is work in progress, but I think that the key term here is ego. Put ego aside.
Nice. And there's a lot of humility. As I get the pleasure to meet Anthony, I see humility is number one on his forefront is written, which is great. Being in that position, yet being humble, it's a rare trait for any leader to have, but it's a very valuable trait. So well done, Anthony, and I'm sure Nicolas is the same. I can see the same behaviors, the same values, the same upbringing as well, and you cherish the same.
Thank you. Coming from you, Eli, is so nice.
So we talked about the legacy, we talked about the mission, we talked about the brand, we talked about your personal brand, we talked about the values, and we talked about the purpose, which is the building the community and the joy and the happiness. I'm going to talk about, and this is really for our audience and viewers, mostly are the family business people, because as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I've sat on advisory boards with family businesses, and 60-70% is all arguing. What sort of tips, tricks, and lessons that you can pass on during this episode to other family businesses that are listening to us? How do you achieve synergy? How do you complement each other? How do you make decisions? How do you avoid conflict? Or maybe healthy conflict cannot be avoided. But let's talk about that angle. I'd like to, I'm curious to know for my own learning as well.
It's a very important question, Doctor. And the main point here is finding the strengths in every person in your family business. And you can discover that by learning to listen to people, learning to spend time with them. I can speak about our family. So spending time with my brother, and we discover the strengths and weaknesses of every one of us, and trying to see how we can build the business on our strengths. So I can say Nicolas for me is the oak tree, steady, rooted. That brings me the protection, let's say, of the forest. So he's like the stability. He brings stability. And this is his strengths. He's a charismatic person. He can represent the company on a global stage. He likes that. He likes to speak 1 to 1,000, 1 to 500. While myself, I'm a bit different. My strengths is in a different place. He strives in this environment. And he brings this added value on the table. My strengths is in being adaptable, like a bamboo, creative, sometimes annoying, but unbreakable. And he tend to bend me right?
Absolutely agree.
Yeah. So together, and I personally prefer to be 1 to 20, 1 to 1, and not 1 to 500, 1 to 1,000. So I add value in a different place.
Okay.
So when I discover what I like, where I'm strong at, and he discovers where he likes, what he likes, and where he's strong at, we come together, an oak and a bamboo, rooted and adaptable, lenient and stability. And this is what I really, my message to any family business out there is to go and build your family constitution based on the strengths and not the weaknesses of every one of your team members, which is your family members.
Yes.
See where each one can add value. A chairman, which is the case of my brother, is great at sending messages, looking at the vision, like an eagle looking from up, right? And then a CEO can be very, like myself, can be very much in the operations, adaptable with people, creative. Very different from someone who will manage finances, or very different from someone who will manage other parts of the business. Very different from someone who will do things in the philanthropic side. Needs a different character, a different mindset, a different way. So find the strengths in every one of your family members and build your family constitution in a way that is adapted to your family. That's my point. Nicolas, I'm sure you have.
I surely agree to what you said, and I'll add to it. Try to build this family constitution well in advance before the problems happens. This means when you are, when everything is functioning properly, people think that this will last forever. But this is when you have time to sit on a table with professionals and write down this family constitution in order to avoid bottlenecks. Being twins, being two is also 50-50. And this is the most dangerous part of any business, because you have a decision can be blocked.
Yes.
So when we looked at this 15 years back, we decided that we needed to create an advisory board. Everything was functioning properly. Lebanon was growing back then. And I remember a story whereby Anthony and I had a different and conflictual approach on a specific topic. However, before this moment happened, so before this conflict or before this divergence came into play, we decided 3 years before to have an advisory board of people which are non-family members that came into this advisory board to resolve this kind of conflicts in case they came up in the future. And this is where Anthony came in, made his case concerning this important point in particular, and I made mine. And the advisory board, two of them went along with Anthony's decision, and one only came with my recommendation. So we ended up with a voting process, 3-2. Okay. And this is where, the conflict was unblocked, because I had agreed in advance, 2 years in advance, that whatever comes up from this advisory board would be the thing that we need to implement. And since then, I am the one leading this business. And I am the one advocating for this business. So again, back to egos, put your egos aside. 2, prepare yourself in advance for any kind of conflict. And 3, and I think most importantly, be humble enough to understand that conflict will happen one day. Because, life is about...
Yes.
Waves.
Healthy conflicts are always happening, and they're good to have, because if you don't have healthy conflicts, nothing moves, right? There's no ideas, no progress in life. So be prepared for healthy conflicts and you have resolutions, but most important, be prepared for the destructive conflict and how do you avoid those.
Absolutely.
When you see Lebanon that went through 3 crises in 9 months, a bomb in the port of Beirut, and then disastrous event, right?
Yes.
And then the devaluation of the pound and the bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And COVID. And these 3 events happened. And then what we have managed to do together is to sustain this business and rethink it. Reimagine it. As your book says, Reimagining You.
Yes.
But this is where, Doctor, I think that stories makes you very strong in difficult moment. So taking the time in a family business to write down these stories, to align on these stories, to portray these stories. The moment you have a difficulty, if these stories are documented, are shared among family members and among team members, people will say, we've done it in the past, we can do it again. So you have a track record.
Yes.
And track record in business is extremely important to be strengthened in times of difficulties. So sometimes we forgo these times. I remember when I was young, my father was we were sitting with my father like for 3, 4, 5 hours inside the family sitting place, and he was all the time telling stories. You know, what happened in Iraq with his father, what happened, I don't know where, in Syria, in Lebanon, across the regions, you know, family stories and others. And we were sitting here listening to this. And back then, when we were 6 and 7 and 8 years old, we're saying, we're spending a lot of time on these stories. Can we go and play? Today, we understand the importance of these moments.
The stories.
And of these stories. So these stories makes you as well... you know, very resilient.
And you can write your own stories and your own playbook, in fact, which is great. I mean, you have from 1927 till now, I'm sure you can fill, you know, a big encyclopedia of stories. One thing that I want to bring on stories and the lessons of that. The lessons that you learn from stories are great to have precedence, to use them when you can and when you want. But one warning is that time have changed. And you have to know when you need to unlearn the lessons of the past. When they no longer serve you, and then learn new things because of the changes, because of the digital, because of the global, because of the various movement that are happening in this world. That's one advice I want to pass on to you and to the audience and viewers. Lessons of the past, which I am also full of them, right? 62 years old today. I mean, this year, with 40 years of international assignments, 14 countries, a lot of positions and cultures and whatever, I've learned a lot of lessons. But just by being humble and saying, okay, I'm going to listen to that 24-year-old person that is sitting across my table and he's telling me, this is not going to work. And I say, what do I tell him? Son or kid? This is how it's going to be. No, I'm going to be humble. I'm going to listen to that. I'm going to be courageous and unlearn what I've learned and relearn what there is something to learn. I guess you're still on that generation where there's a lot of learning as well, and you know, but when you look at your history of your grandfather, I think you're taking this and you're adapting it.
Yeah, to say, I totally agree, and thank you for this beautiful, you know, explanation. I think if we need to summarize it, I would say, let the past be your foundation, not your ceiling.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
And this is where, you know, listening to others, and this is what we do regularly. You know, we listen a lot. I mean, it's beautiful to talk about what we're trying to do, but this comes with a lot of listening and humility.
So I listened to you both, and I think what makes this synergy working in your family is a lot of listening, a lot of emotional intelligence, I would say, both of you, and to the world around you. A lot of adaptability and agility, a lot of humbleness that you put, and you respect the constitution of the family and respect the advice that you get from advisory board or anybody else that you entrust with their analytics or assessment or advice to you. And I think that could be a secret recipe for other family businesses that are listening or watching today to really. I hope I didn't share the secret sauce here. But I'm sure they probably do the same, or they're lacking one or two elements of that, and they probably found it here. So thank you both for enlightening the audience and the viewers.
I don't think we have the secret recipe, right? I think that this recipe has to be constantly evolving, Doc. And I'm eager to listen to all the episodes because I'm sure I learn much more from these beautiful family businesses in the region and across. And thank you for bringing the story of every family by its own and opening up the doors of learning, the learning curve.
I want to continue on with one more last question here because we're cognizant of the time for people. So you had different path of education I think you've done HEC and then Harvard OPM program, which is the Owner President Management Program, and you've done INSEAD MBA. But you came in also from L'Oreal and the marketing channel there on the luxury side, right? Or FMCG. Does this help in getting the complementing issue rather than having separate tracks?
Definitely, doctor. So my track record, Nicolas did economics, and then HEC, and then Harvard. I've done computer science at the UB,
computer
then
science.
L'Oreal, then INSEAD. And those different tracks, I can tell you, one from the technology side, one from the business side, Nicolas, and then one from the American way of doing things, and my side from the European international way of doing things, have added a lot of value to the business and to the family because it comes from different perspectives. So I can give you many examples. It's like today AI is leading change, and since Nicolas is the oak and I am the dolphin, or Nicolas is the eagle and I am the bamboo, right? This is where I go and try things with AI. We are implementing processes in our company which we're injecting with AI, and this is where Nicolas come and say, look at it from here. Where does it create value? Explain to me. He adds his perspective as an eagle on what we're doing on the ground, and I add my technology expertise. So this brings a lot of discussions on the table. So this diversity from both sides in terms of expertise, knowledge, geography we worked in has a lot of value. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our education have been AUB at start, both of us, but in different fields, and then moved from in different directions and came back together. This was really interesting. And sometimes I had to stay in Lebanon next to my father when Anthony had to travel. And we kind of, played by the book. However, what I feel is important to portray as well is that family businesses in the region have an impact on the community, not only on their businesses. And this is where we brought the best of what we've been through back to Lebanon when we came back. So when I've been to HEC Entrepreneur, it's the biggest entrepreneurship program in Europe. My dream was to bring back to Lebanon and to the region this entrepreneurship, let us say, masters. We've worked with a lot of people and friends, and today we can say that we have in Lebanon the best the world can offer in terms of entrepreneurship at the ISA Business School, because of the private sector believing in this path.
With HEC.
With HEC. So we brought back HEC to prepare this program with ISA Business School.
Nice.
Anthony is doing the same on several fronts. So it's not to brag about what we try to do, but it's also this learning curves or these different passes. Is we spend a lot of time into community and pro bono work, both Anthony and I. And I believe that this, let us say, 30 to 50% of our time investing these kind of percentages into the community work is giving us back much more joy and happiness.
Nice. Last week I had the pleasure to have Ricardo Karam on my podcast. And while I'm doing my research, he has his own podcast, right? And he always ends up his podcast with the $1 million question. I'm going to ask you that question. I stole this shamelessly. So when you're outside the room, when you're in a social gathering or you're in a meeting and you're outside the room, what would people talk about you think?
Look, when you build a brand, the brand, like we just discussed during all this podcast, right? The brand stays, you go. For us, what we would love people to speak about us, right, is the legacy we keep, is the smile we have, and this is what people remember, is this fun and joyful moments we spent together over the coffee.
Okay.
Is this great discussion we had together around a topic that is important for people. And this is what we care about.
Okay. And you and Nicolas, when you're outside the room after a meeting, what do you think people will talk about you?
I think that what I'd like to keep, right, in the future as a stamp is being recognized as a bridge builder, between people, communities, enterprises, countries. We are lacking today in the world of people that build bridges rather than destroying bridges. So building bridges, putting diversities on the same bridge to create value. And I believe that this diversity in the world or inside our organization or inside both Anthony and I, we're diverse, but together we're stronger, makes it so powerful. And if I'd like, something to be said in this meeting is that Nicolas is a bridge builder, Anthony is a bridge builder for
Nice.
the better of the community.
I learned a lot today. Yes, thank you for that. I love the analogy of animals, analogy of trees describing personalities. I love that. And the bridges, the dolphins. I mean, this is incredible. Thank you. We are close to the end. 2035, what would be on your LinkedIn title?
I need to think about that, doctor.
2035 is in 10 years time.
10 years
right?
time, yes.
10 years flies, right?
10 years flies.
I think it's too short, 10 years. I think that it will remain the same. I hope it will remain the same. I hope that, our friends, our family, at this point in time, will remain in good health. We often forget
Yes.
the importance of being healthy and staying alive. I think that this is what worries me the most, is losing the people that I love the most.
Yes.
I hope that we'll all, stay together, united, and hopefully succeed in continue on building bridges.
I want to talk about the health one because it's very important you mentioned that. On the last TED Talk I had, I brought in the health, and it's one of the pillars of my formula called RAW, resilience, adaptability, and worth. And worth is the foundation of health. But I was watching Steve Barnett, the Diary of the CEO podcast. You've seen him before?
Haven't.
You should. He's brilliant, and there's close to 10 million views on this podcast. One of the topic that came up, he said, I just reflected today when I woke up. I looked around me. I have my financial wealth. I have my business. I have my family. I have my assets. I have my production. I have everything. But they all sit on one layer foundation, which is health. I can lose a family. I can remarry. I can lose my assets. I can reinvest, or I can make more money. I can lose my financial, and then I will save again. I can lose my production. I will recreate. But I cannot lose my health. If I lose my health, nothing else matters. So keep that in mind, and I'm sure thank you for bringing that up because you're young, both of you. Keep that in mind. Build your generation around that. Yeah. You wanted to say something about the 2035? Have you thought about it?
No. Look, health is a good one. What I really believe is important is I would love. I mean, it's a different answer to what you wanted. But our region is going through tremendous issues, and what I would love to see in 2035, and not what I mean. I don't want to reflect on myself. I want to reflect on the region. I would love to see a region stable, peaceful, because what's happening now is not good.
Hopefully, we will see a more stable region. Hopefully, this ashes will be past, and we'll rebuild, and we get a futurist Lebanon coming. Nicolas and Anthony, I want to thank you for your openness, honesty, down-to-earth humbleness, and transparency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
So Anthony and Nicolas, we started today with the fire and rebuilding. And I realized that actually the perfect metaphor for your entire journey, you've taken the embers of a 97-year legacy and built something that burns brighter with every generation. What struck me most isn't just you grew a company sixfold or expanded across borders. It's that your proven twin leadership doesn't mean thinking identically. It means thinking complementary. Like two pistons in an engine, you created power through synchronized differences. I gave you the automobile. You're showing up that enjoying moving forward isn't just a corporate tagline, it's a philosophy. And the happiness as a core value isn't just to say, it's strategic. We didn't mention the Easter egg hunts, that your kids participate, and the company outings. That's beautiful. So to every listener navigating family, business, partnership, or legacy, the Boukather story reminds us that honoring the past doesn't mean living in it. Sometimes the best way to carry a torch is to use it to light new paths. Your father revolutionized trust with, if you like it, buy it. And if you revolutionized what family business can be in the 21st century, globally minded yet locally minded, digitally transformed yet happily humane. Thank you both for reminding us that in business, as in life, moving forward is better when you enjoy the journey, and even better when you take your family, along for the ride. So to our listeners and viewers, whether you're building alongside a sibling, inheriting a legacy, or creating one from scratch, remember that your differences aren't obstacles to overcome. They're advantages to leverage. Until next time, this is Dr. Eli Daher reminding you, your personal brand isn't just what you build. It's how you build it, who you build it with, and why you keep building when others would stop. Stay tuned every Thursday, 5 p.m. Dubai time, for another great episode for great guests like the Boukather. Thank you.